So I'm
Yeah.
interested. I thought he'd be higher, so I'm interested to see the top 5 here. Here we go. Number 5.
And we're into the top 5.
Let's see. Here we go. Get
And
ready for
number
some
5
reactions.
is Ghostface.
Okay, so we made it to the, and I did say what I say. I said Ghostface top 5. I think Jason's number 1. I think Ghostface has only gotten more relevant. I actually like to see that people are considering him more of a big time slasher. But it's also someone who's never the same person each time. So that's kind of a neat little addition to it. And I think those movies in general do so much just to help explain horror, and they're fun to look at in that light. So I'm cool with that.
When Scream came out, and I saw it in the theater, and my boy Wes Craven, shout out Cleveland, awesome. Kevin Williamson's script, just phenomenal, and it's nothing we'd ever seen before.
No.
Totally fresh. Making fun of horror films. You had multiple killers, did not see that coming, and it was rated PG-13.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, the coolest thing
okay.
about it is the movie's talking about tropes and
Yeah.
what not to do, and people are still doing it, which I loved. But yeah.
So when the sequel came out and I saw that in theaters, and you might know me, my expectations get high. And then I saw it and I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
Oh.
And then the third one was even worse.
Oh, come on.
But I've gotten wiser. And I went back and revisited it.
And you enjoy them.
I am pretty impressed with what they've done with this franchise. And
It's
I saw the
outstanding.
newest one that took place in New York City with the Core 4. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was brutal. It was like horrifying.
They continue to up it and stay relevant, but still tell this really cool story while being like meta about it.
I was very impressed. And this one, the latest one, was him collecting, or the group, I'm not going to give it away, collecting all the old
artifacts
stuff. And it was like, wow, this is really interesting. I
dug it. Okay, cool. 5, Ghostface 5. He's a big gun now.
Yep.
Number 4, Leatherface.
Aha. All right.
I can see this because I love Leatherface. To me, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, is like the independent horror movie of all time. It was
still terrifying.
A nightmare to make because they were in a Texas summer, and the dude who was Leatherface was in this literal outfit, sweating his balls off, and it's stinky, and people are mad at each other on set.
But there's so many good parts of that movie that I think added to all the frustration and stuff that they did a good job of putting that on film. And to this day, I still think as a standalone movie outside of the rest of the franchise, that first one is a wonderful horror movie.
And that's where we run into problems, because their sequels are probably some of the worst sequels that exist.
It is a quick drop off. Like, I remember the first time I watched 2, I was like,
and there are people that love this movie. They love it. Like, that's their version of 1. And I'm like,
now wasn't it that the original movie was supposed to be funnier?
Yes, this is, from what I've read, the sequel.
I hate that so much.
The sequel is what Tobe Hooper wanted.
I hate that.
I know.
I hate that.
But 1 is by far the better movie. And I'm sorry, Toby, but yikes, man. Come on.
Which is the one? Is it the third one with...
Oh, man. Now, the third has the best trailer known to man.
Who's in the third one?
Viggo Mortensen.
Okay.
But the third one has the trailer that has the chainsaw coming out of the lake, like Excalibur, and Leatherface is on the shore, and then he grabs it and runs. And I'm like, best trailer ever. Phenomenal.
Hold on. I'm trying to think.
And the third one was supposedly the one that was chopped up by the studio, and we have never seen what the director wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and then 4 was the horrible one with Matthew McConaughey.
There we go. That's the one I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking.
Next Generation, which Kim Henkel, who wrote,
isn't that when it's almost like a edgier chainsaw, right?
Well, and then they come back with the Illuminati somehow involved,
yeah,
and it's like, what?
Okay, so I do think though, past those, when they kind of rebooted the one with Jessica Biel, right?
My girlfriend.
That was good. And some of the remakes may not have been the best all around, but they keep it gory.
Also had one of the best villains who wasn't Leatherface in the movie, R. Lee Ermey?
Lee Ermey.
Who was in
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, as the
drill sergeant.
Oh my God. Yeah. So when he's the sheriff in those movies, oh man.
Oh no, he's a terrifying bad guy.
And that's one of the most iconic scenes too, where I forgot the guy's name, comes out and his face, and you're like, oh my God. And you're like, no, oh my God, Leatherface is literally wearing his face.
Yeah.
And that's where Jessica Biel's like, well, As a
But
side
those
note,
were-
that's one of the first date movies I took Allison to, and I
Nice.
didn't know she didn't like horror films.
Oh boy, get a
Woo!
love that one for
Not
you.
bad.
But
We're-
hey,
we're still married, but not
it
bad.
worked out, right, James?
So, and the newest Leatherface, I really did enjoy. Where they go to the small
Yeah.
town, and I think it was Netflix only.
He feels like he got muddled
It
in
was
the
good
middle,
stuff.
but has come out the other side and at least tried
Yeah.
to keep that horror going. So okay,
Yeah.
that was
All right, I got
4.
Okay.
Okay, then we're on to
Number 3.
Top 3, big 3. Here we
Top
go.
3, baby. Number 3. Michael Myers.
He's my number 1. He's my number 1.
But has he dropped down because you did not like the last two?
No. Here's what I'll say about Halloween as a franchise, and why he remains my favorite is because I think comparatively, 1 and 2, great movies. If I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It was just called Season of the Witch.
There is no Halloween 3.
There is Season of the Witch.
Yes.
It's a good movie. It has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but I stand by that being a good horror movie.
No Michael Myers, no Halloween movie.
Regardless, if we jump back to 4 and 5, then we get to H2O. Was Resurrection the found footage one with Busta Rhymes?
I
what it's called?
believe so, but was there one in between? Or is that
Well,
the one where
H2O.
Jamie Lee,
Jamie Lee
Curtis
jumps out the
dies
window. Yeah, she officially
at the
she
end.
dies
or the beginning
at the
of?
beginning, which was weird. I was
I
like,
guess
you
it is
paid her
Resurrection.
just to come in and jump out a window, and
Yeah.
but I still feel there was intention behind all of those to be good horror movies, even if they didn't age well. Then you got Rob Zombie's takes on it, which I thought were outstanding.
He got robbed?
Someone robbed that zombie.
Because Brandon has a higher opinion of this director than I do, although
Love it.
Devil's Rejects is one of the best movies ever made.
Outstanding.
But his Halloween movies, he got literally gypped because
Yeah.
they really didn't give him the money, the time, the marketing that he needed. And I find those films good.
2 is definitely more his touch of just like,
it's brutal.
and it gets super brutal, but it's like, I still dug it. But his remake was an outstanding
Yeah.
remake. I thought
I
it was
agree.
super well done. And then, although I didn't like Kills and Ends, I do think that still the intention to be good and not corny, that holds up. I agree with him being in number 3.
Yeah, he's iconic.
Yeah,
He's up there.
I mean, and I think he like kind of Ghostface has grown in popularity. I think everyone knew that face, but I think especially with the movies coming out, he tends to resonate more, which has me interested because there's 2 left, I believe, and I'm willing to guess it's
Before we hit those, though, I
Okay,
want to make sure
hold
the
on.
audience knows I do not agree with Brandon.
on what?
2018 Halloween sucked.
No, the first one was
So
the good one.
Bad.
do you not like
And then Halloween Kills and Ends were really good. I
No.
really like how they went in a different
You're
direction.
so
with it. It was
annoying.
awesome.
You're so annoying.
Okay.
Halloween. Kill. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna rewatch all these.
I
We'll
killed
get
it.
into Well,
So-
I'm ending it.
so
I'm
what-
ending it. Okay.
All right. So what's
So
what's your
I'm
bet?
guessing we're left with Freddy and Jason.
Which is
I-
hilarious because it's been over.
So that's why I was bringing that up.
12
is, like,
years?
especially Freddy.
Yeah.
Especially Freddy. Like,
So which one did you think?
I'm guessing Jason's gonna be number 1, Freddy number 2. What are your thoughts?
If it's not one of these two, I'm going to be pissed.
I will be shocked if we get
I
a
will be
different
pissed.
name for either one of these.
But I'm going to go with Jason as number 1 because I think the mask is just.
I think
iconic.
that's just become
Yeah.
something. that
And
is
every
like-
year we have at least 2 Friday the 13th, and
Yeah.
there's going to be a. All right, Kyle, what do
All
we
right,
got?
Let's hit it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Excited
Number
misses.
2 is Jason Voorhees.
Wow!
Man!
Two.
Wow.
Number 2.
I'm
Jason.
surprised. Now, if Freddy's not number 1, I'm going to be pissed.
We
But
got to see who this one is.
going to Friday the 13th, iconic. I mean, it cracks me up that Michael Myers is below him because Sean Cunningham's idea was literally, hey, how can I rip off these babysitter murderers and make money? And that's
Camp
what we
murders.
get Friday the
Camp
13th.
murders.
And what's great is, I can't remember what the original name was. It was like Murders at Camp or something stupid. But he found
Murders at
out
Fun Camp.
nobody owned the rights to the title Friday the 13th.
And he was like, duh.
So he grabbed it and started putting out promos with broken glass and stuff and posters. And he had no idea what he was going to do with it.
Really? And it was just like, and it'll be slasher stuff.
Yeah. And so
All
he
right.
made the movie. it really is to me an accident of how popular it became.
Well, it's cool too because the first one is it's so different than everything else because it is not a creepy, terrifying monster person through the woods, or even like a neighborhood, like with all the slashes you had at that point. It was an old woman.
And it was basically
a grieving old woman.
trying to be a gotcha at the end because you were trying to think it was going to be this dude who was just, it's like, no.
Yeah, and it turns out it was Jason's mom who's pissed at the kids for letting her kid drown, which
Having
is
sex and drugs while a
how
kid
dare
drowned.
they?
But then we find out
Nerds.
Jason didn't drown.
He
He didn't drown.
he hid in the forest.
Well, that means he didn't
forever.
drown.
Well, like we thought, which makes her a bad mother,
A horrible mother.
horrible mother. She was
And
so
we find
bent,
out in the sequel that
so bent
Jason,
on
poor dude's out in the forest living by himself, making a go of it. And
just like ripperdo. Well,
Yeah.
get busy drowning or get busy living. That's
he
what
got
I always
busy
say.
living and killing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoy this franchise up until 6. I can tolerate 5 because they tried to do something new.
Okay,
6
hold on,
is
hold
like
on,
the
hold
best zombie version.
2 and 3, I think, round out his story, right?
Well, 4 is where he dies. Like he literally.
So 4 is the fourth
Corey
one with
Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
That's the second one with Corey Feldman, though, right? He was in 2 of them, wasn't he?
he was in the beginning of 5.
Okay, there we go. So 5 is when they have the fake Jason.
Yes.
6
Roy.
is our first
Zombie Jason.
undead Jason.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have the.
6 is Crispin
Telekinetic.
Glover. Is 6 Crispin Glover?
That's 4.
That's 4. It is 4. Okay, yep. 5 I do not like. 6 is fun.
6 is a great
Yes.
reinvention of the franchise. Everybody pictured that as Jason. It's like,
Well,
that was the 6th entry, buddy. That took a while.
Well, it's funny too because the hockey mask doesn't show up until halfway through 3.
Yep.
So these things that are super iconic about him don't come along at the beginning.
And that's what cracks me. It was an accident. Like the prop dude had a hockey mask, and they're like, "Let's do something different than the burlap sack that we had." So they brought out a hockey
And I was
mask.
like, here you go. And now
And
it's
now-
iconic.
All of a sudden,
All right.
but then we got Telekinetic in 7, and we went to Manhattan in 8, and we went to Hell.
Manhattan
and
sucks.
we went to space, which I find funny. It's not a great horror film.
Now,
but
see,
it's
that's
entertaining.
why I always backed Halloween more, is because by the time you get to that, they are leaning. I'm almost sure, wasn't that like a sci-fi done movie, like a sci-fi network?
I don't remember, but I know Sean Cunningham's son came back. And I can't remember if he directed or produced it, but he had a hand in that. And it was a way to reboot it because at the end, he's falling to Earth 2, and that was the idea that it was going.
And he lands in the lake, and the space people are like, "What's that noise?" And it's like, "Oh, he's back
Let's
again."
go. Oh, it's a shooting star.
Yeah.
But ironically, I thought that remake was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought it was super corny for what it was, but it offers one of my favorite moments I've ever seen in one of those movies. And when he grabs the people in the sleeping bag, it's like the murder simulation that he's in, and he's just whapping them against the tree.
That was hilarious. That
I
was.
did like Freddy versus Jason.
I did too.
I
thought it was
think
a great
that
way
one's
to
still
put it
fun.
together.
Yes, I was still forever sad we never got Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Yeah,
Wish
I am too.
we could have seen that. But even his most recent remake was a solid.
I love how they tell the first basic 3 to 4 movies. They skip over. They show.
They did a
his
good
mom,
job
but they
of
don't
showing
focus on it.
that and the kids in the camp. Like that was
I enjoyed it. I'm
Yeah.
sad that was it. I'm sad that they killed Jason at the end because then I'm like, oh great, we're going right back to the zombie Jasons,
but nothing since.
but nothing since. So that's why I'm surprised it's as high as it is. But I'm
Yeah.
also surprised it's not number 1.
I'm now wondering what number 1.
If it's not Freddy,
it's
we're gonna have
gotta be,
issues.
Like he's gonna.
Yeah,
He's gonna
AI's crap.
Number 1 is Freddy Krueger.
All right,
I like-
Skynet has been redeemed.
Perfect. I mean, just like Jason, he it's iconic at this point.
Huge.
Those movies, I think the first 3, solid. I think Dream Warriors when you start getting a little,
2 is horrible.
but it was the middle. It was like the 80s. It was the late 80s, right?
2 was crap, and it's gotten better as sort of a campy LGBTQ movie now that has been more recognized for what it was trying to do. But when it comes to a Freddy movie, you had Freddy come into the real world, and it was just like, no, this sucks.
I
I
didn't-
hate this.
I didn't mind it to a point with some of that, but like Freddy as a character, just like we were talking about Jason and stuff, you don't really start to see his personality until the third one because he's very much a normal slasher that doesn't have too much screen time, too many lines in that first one. First one will always be iconic. I mean, just so many shots of that movie and the way it was done was...
And we didn't have... And that's one of the things that kind of gets me with that movie in particular. There really hasn't been a Freddy movie made. Yes, there was a remake. Yes, Freddy versus Jason. But really hasn't been one made that takes advantage of CG.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all practical effects.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, it would be pretty amazing
that would be
to see
all
what
CG.
they could come up
that
with
would be
to
all
freak
CG
me
the whole
fuck
time.
out as I'm having a nightmare.
Yeah. But so 3 and then 4 was which one was that?
So 3 was the Dream Warriors.
3's Dream Warriors.
Dream Master.
4 is the follow-up to the people that survived that.
And I remember
wiping
Jesse
them out.
was in the waterbed, like drowned. Yeah.
Don't cut it open.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the waterbed. You're like, no, how do I possibly get him out of here?
And then we got the Dream Child.
Yes.
Which shows us the origin of Freddy, and we're getting camp. Super campy at this
Start
point.
to get a little bit more with all that. Okay, so that was another one.
New Nightmare was next?
So I think, well, I was going to bring up New Nightmare next either way because that was the first one that rebooted the character, but it was done by the person who created, who hadn't touched it since the first movie.
He was a producer on the third one.
Yes.
Who was written, there's a version out there written by, the guy who did Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile. I can't remember his name. Dang it, that's going to bug me. But he wrote a version that's out there somewhere. And
Really?
I like Dream Warriors. I think that's one of the better ones. But I'd love to read his script somewhere.
Yeah. But New Nightmare was cool because, like I said, it brought back some other people. Brought back Wes Craven. Wes Cleveland, as he's better known as.
Yes.
And I thought that was a fun way for him to get back involved with it. Then we had the most recent remake that we both were kind of like, I didn't like that I like the idea of Freddy being wronged because they had it wrong.
Yeah.
There is something that does make him worse, knowing that like he was awful in life and then gets granted this power and death to continue being like awful and terrifying. So I did kind of enjoy that angle of it. But I mean, it's another one. Absolutely.
With Robert Englund's version, it never, yes, I know he was a pedophile. I get it.
Robert Englund.
Yeah, the first Freddy Krueger.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, I thought you were talking about the Jack Earl.
No.
Yeah.
The first version of Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund.
Yes.
Yes, I realize he was a pedophile. Okay, and maybe because I was younger, I didn't really understand what that meant.
Well, it was also a different world where like you didn't just like, it was insinuated.
And he was joking all the time. So yeah, he was horrific, but I never focused on that part of it. Then watching Jackie Earl Haley, and it's like, he's a horrible person.
Well, because like the whole thing, this girl is like, we gotta give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Our parents were wrong, and then they get in there, and it's like, oh, and then it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, I think I'd be one of the parents.
And he's still causing problems. Like, that was the thing. I mean, like, you really made him, like, maybe the worst one of all time. Everyone else is just, like, confused and misunderstood. And it's like, no, he was a bad person in life as he will be in death.
But I am surprised he's number one, just because we haven't had a movie in a long time.
Thought it was going to be Jason.
And he really isn't around. It's hard to find his movies. James and I have been trying to watch that one.
Really?
And it's hard to find on streaming.
Interesting.
So I'm surprised. But
that's why you got to buy all your movies like I did.
No, thank you. But that's our top 10 with Chat AI.
Justice for Trick or Treat and Sam. I need him in the next list.
He's only appeared once. He's great.
I need him. Justice for Sam and Trick or Treat.
I really thought some horrible weirdo, I don't even know, like Toxic Avenger was going to show up and be like, cool, but not on the top 10.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, for sure.
Okay.